Taipans, Cairns, this is their first game for the round, so they'll be coming in fresh, but we know they've had some form and some injury issues across the past month or so. And the Phoenix, with their new head coach in town, they are up and about. Have a look at that, 8.5-point favourites. I didn't think I'd be saying that about the Phoenix against anyone. Now, when it comes to the feed, the Sportsbet feed, this is your one-stop shop. You can copy, you can follow, you can share, get after your favourite punters and profiles, all there on the Sportsbet app via the feed.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
And what started off as a nightmare for Southeast Melbourne is very quickly becoming a movie worth watching.
Oh! Yes, sir!
Malik Lewis!
It's a grown man dunk.
Well, here we go. That hurts, steps back, and connects!
He's tough. Get him the ball.
Wardenberg. A pass and took it to the rack with authority. Cairns looking to take the lead. Wardenberg in transition for three. Antonio wide open. That's a layup for him.
Sunday Hoops coming your way from John Cain Arena, where the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix take on the Cairns Taipans as the NBL celebrates Indigenous round on Wurundjeri Company. The Phoenix are trying to continue their rise and get back toward 500. The Snakes have lost 6 in a row. They get a couple of big names back today. Our Mitsubishi Motors ladder, it's 8th and 10th. Joel Peterson, Derek Rucker, Andrew Gaze and Steph Baumgartel with you. Gazy, there's a little bit more to play for than that might indicate.
Well, there's a hell of a lot for both these teams to play, but I think they're at different paths at the moment, and the pathway for the Phoenix, despite that loss, close loss, the 5-point loss where they led for 95% of the game against the Sydney Kings on Friday, is a lot different situation to what the Cairns Taipans are facing. Cairns have just been decimated with injuries and in a bit of a funk. So although the records aren't completely different, they are certainly at different stages of the season for each.
Ruck, let's get into that late game situation on Friday night. It was a strange one for the Kings against Phoenix, to say the least.
It certainly was, and they got a bucket late in the game. It's only a 5-point lead at this point. Right here, Xavier Cooks, great player, not a great free throw shooter. Foul him immediately. There are 20 seconds on the clock. Now right here, Drew, in the moment, I started getting worried. I see Foxwell going after Liapa with no intent to foul. I'm yelling like crazy on the call. They kick it out the Noi, and now, Drew, we officially enter Bizarro world. They don't foul Noi with 10 seconds. They're letting this one go. Tick, tick, tick. My apologies for my conduct during the call, but Drew, I want to hear your perspective. Yeah. Feel free to disagree and be wrong.
Well, I think here in the backcourt, you're trying to put pressure on the ball. Now, there's not enough pressure. You're trying to get an 8-second...
Drew, they're losing.
You're trying to get an 8-second violation, but once they get it in the front court, Foxwell's in a difficult situation to foul because he's coming from behind. You do not want to send the opposition to free throws and possession. It defeats the purpose.
Are you trying to win or are you not trying to win? I can't put this right now.
No, you are. But I think at the end, but it all got too late with Sobey on Jalen Adams. I see your point and I hear your point, albeit you're on thin ice a little bit because it happened the way it unfolded. You don't want to send them to the line for 2 and possession.
So you take the L.
And don't forget, do not forget, Derek, there was only a couple of seasons ago, Melbourne United missed out by 1 bucket. So you go ahead and foul, and if you end up, instead of losing by 5, you lose by 9 or whatever it may be. Those couple of points could cost you. And we know the Phoenix are going to need every single one of them.
True.
Absolutely. Haven't even started and we're already scrapping. So no Rob Edwards for the Cairns Taipans today. He is a 1-match suspension for an incident a couple of weeks ago. They get a couple of big names back. Taron Armstrong is one of them at his best. He is elite.
Oh, it's a great opportunity for them to start to develop some cohesion with that team, with Armstrong back in the lead guard position. We saw how good he was, Drew, in his short stint earlier in the season. They can build.
And there's plenty of names coming back for both teams as well. With the latest on that, let's go to Steph Baumgartel.
Well, as you mentioned, Cairns is almost fully loaded. They also welcomed Deshaun Taylor into their side today as an injury replacement for Pedro Bradshaw. He plays the first time for them today. I spoke with him earlier. He said he's excited to be back in the league after a stint with the Sydney Kings a few years ago. As for the Phoenix, they also add strength back into the mix with the return of star Derek Moulton Jr.
It's a big in for them, Steph. Thank you. And Derek Walton Jr. He won't be in the starting lineup, but he will be coming off the bench this afternoon for the South East Melbourne Phoenix. There he is. So Hunter, Glover, Sobey, Hurt and Lewis, the 5 for Josh King and the Phoenix. For the Cairns Taipans, it is the 9th different lineup that Adam Sport has started a game with so far this season. Armstrong, Antonio, Higgins-Titcher, who was impressive last time out, Koldergak, and Sam Wardenberg. Tanner Groves is back. He is coming off the bench for the Taipans.
Yeah, it's good to see Alex Higgins-Titcher getting another opportunity, and why wouldn't you? A double-double in that first opportunity to start for the Cairns Taipans. Very active. He's 24 years of age, so he's no regular rookie, but he plays with great activity and something the Cairns Taipans need a lot of right now.
So the Phoenix with the ball first here at the fire pit, coming off a narrow win to Sydney earlier in the round. Nathan Sobey goes to the left hand, wanted the call. And Sam Wardenberg, who's been terrific, links up with Armstrong, turnover on his first touch of the rock. Brings so much zip and verve to this Taipans team. Glover was stroking it on Friday, and that's continued.
Well, one of the areas where this Phoenix team has really improved has been with their offensive execution. Consequently, it's led to better defensive numbers. They look a much more balanced basketball team.
17 on Friday night for Angus Glover. Armstrong takes an early tumble, coming back from an ankle injury. Maybe not what Adam Ford would have wanted to see. AK Gak outside, can't hit. 9 on the season now from outside is Koldergak. Sobey rises up and banked that one home.
Sobey came pressing early. First play, designated play to get to the rim. That time, no pass offense, just works his way to the basket.
This is going to be the challenge for Cairns without Rob Edwards, who can create something on the offensive end.
This guy's won 16 points a game and really efficient. Above 50 from the field, above 40 from threes, and can score.
Blake Lewis kicks it out to Sobey in the corner for 3.
And that's better offense. Penetrate, look to kick, but move the ball initially, Andrew. I think that's what you were alluding to earlier.
Yeah. Well, that's 2 turnovers already for Armstrong, and we know he's missed a chunk of basketball. Have a look at the Amy replay. The penetration and kick. Swing the ball. These days, 2 sides is about as far as you'll get before you see the penetration. The defense collapse. It's either play on the rim or the kick out. Good execution by the Phoenix.
Glover on the take, blocked by Gak. Might have falconed him there as it came down, I think. Bounced off the bonds.
One of the areas where Phoenix were excellent the other night in Sydney was that dribble penetration at the basket. Glover and Sobey were really good. But you've either got to finish through or be really good with your next decision.
Sobey inside. Hunter. And one.
Gak's got to do a better job of allowing Hunter to catch it. Playing behind. Now, I know Gak's got some really good size, but at this level, they get it into Hunter, and that's very easy. And Adam Ford not happy at all with proceedings, I suspect, at both ends of the floor. Calls a timeout to have some, I would suspect, direct words at the way the team has started.
So they're in a hole early, 8-2. The South East Melbourne Phoenix have jumped off to a hot start here at home. First leg of a Sunday doubleheader as Adam Ford talks it over with his team at the Tangerine timeout. Great to have Mac Hurt this afternoon, who was quiet on Friday. He's one of the league's leading scorers, MVP contender. He is our Harmy Norman in the zone player.
Everybody on the mic. This for the hood.
Get it, man. Went to the GMs yesterday. Saw how bad I was. They was like, yeah. Hey, this is why the line's so long.
So Matt Hurt mic'd up for us this afternoon. He's been a revelation coming into this team, Ruck.
He certainly has, and his ability to do so much on the offensive end and be a sound defender has been invaluable. He had a down game the other night in Sydney. Looked like he may have sustained a little calf injury, but he's out here, and I'm sure he's very interested in having a nice bounce-back performance here in JCA.
Yeah, 3 of 16, and all these players, not just Matt Hurt, but when you're one of the prime movers, this is the third coach you've had to deal with. And I know there's a lot of similarities, and they've tried to transition it as best they can, but that can sometimes take a bit of adjusting. And Matt Hurt, for the first time, looked like he was pushing, pressing a little bit too hard in that game against the Kings.
Long two, he splashed in for Sam Wardenberg. So cuts the gap back to 5. Been a great start for the Phoenix back on their home floor. Under 3 minutes played in this opening frame. Sobey guarded by Antonio, gets the screen from Hunter. Rolls all the way inside. Can't finish off the front of the iron. Gathers it back, gives it to the birthday boy Malik Lewis. Glover outside, another triple. Angus Glover cashes another one. Phoenix out by 8. Steph, you were listening to Josh King at that last time out. He'd have to be pretty happy with what he's seeing.
Absolutely. Naturally, very happy with that one. He congratulated Sobey on that 3-point shot, so no doubt he'll be happy with Angus as well. He said solid pressure and keep the ball moving.
Oh, good for Armstrong at the other end. Another for Glover. Angus Glover! He is Angus Gunner!
He's been inspired by what we saw from Chris Golding. That's 3 from 3 from the 3-point line. Still got a bit of work to do to match the 25 that Chris put up in that spectacular third period last night. But this is what Angus Glover is capable of doing.
Block from Sobey on the 3-pointer. Chases Antonio to the corner, who rises up and hits over the top of him.
And Josh King has had a conniption on the sideline. Not happy with the 3 ball in the corner.
Here's Lewis. Happy birthday, Malik Lewis.
Wow, this is some sort of 3-point exhibition there. 5 of 5 from the 3-point line. 6 of 10 overall.
They're doing a great job of spacing, picking their times and penetrating the gaps, and the decision-making's been pretty good for the most part.
Stitcher can't hit. Stay in orange. A couple of their reinforcements get set to check back in. In fact, the reinforcements for both teams.
And the Phoenix have really lifted their defensive rating over the past 4 to 5 rounds. They were last in the league. Now, Joel, they sit at number 4. And we know the significance of being in that top 4. It will usually get you an appearance in the postseason.
It was the big question mark coming into the season is how they would play defense, but since their slump at the start of the season, as Rob said, they've turned that around magnificently.
Deshaun Watson, I'm really keen to see how he goes as well. Played the 19-20 season with the Sydney Kings when was somewhat maligned in that time as an import, only averaging 6 points a game, and that's shot clock pressure.
Antonio bounced that one off the roof. 18-7. He says Taylor out there now with Groves. Matt Hurt puts it on the floor. Stopped his own ball. Groves dives in. Hurt comes up with it. Walsh Jr. makes sure it's not a backcourt. Hot Sobey the heave. Tanner Groves, first appearance for him for a few weeks. Played the 3 games earlier in the season. Hurt the calf. Good to see the big man back.
You know, with Watson, you think, oh, well, we only had those 6 points, and the Cairns Taipans need scoring. But you look at his last 2 seasons, one in Turkey in the 2nd division, 20 points a game. Before that, in Finland, okay, not one of the premier basketballing nations, but Deshaun Taylor, I'm in to say. But at 27 points a game, I don't care what league you're in. If you're getting 27 points a game in Finland, then you know that you can score.
That should transfer into some level of productivity here in the NBL. We're not trying to say Finland is anywhere near our level, but he should be able to go out there and get you 10 and 5 and be a good defender.
Wardenberg from outside cashes it in. He started well.
Well, he's got to be their primary vehicle on the offensive end. He's having a really good season after being down a little bit last year. Looks a much more confident player.
Confidence so important to his game. Vidanovic outside, gets the shooter's roll.
I don't think he do that. They're in an eye situation on the screen, so the 5-man's got to drop off, but not with Vidanovic. That's a layup for him.
Oh. Someone left the door open as Sam Wardenberg shot that one.
And this is going to be the challenge for the Taipans this afternoon. When Southeast Melbourne continued to bring in fresh bodies, in this instance, Joe Wieskamp, can they keep up physically, Andrew? Do they get worn down?
Walton Jr., Vidanovic, Sovey, Wieskamp, Lewis out there at the moment.
What are they doing?
Vidanovic again!
That's just a complete misread on the scout. That's not him. They're 7 of 8, but Vidanovic, that's what he does.
And now an offensive foul against the Snakes.
If you're not staying connected on this end, it's just catch and shoot.
Well, twice. The first one, is where you're helping out. He's a pick and pop guy. That's what he does. That's got to be a switch because he's going to pop most of the time. And if you switch a little on him, take the odds to the little guy having problems down low, full front, do whatever you can, but just don't allow him to catch and shoot.
Shooting 32% on the season from 3, the Phoenix. They are 7 of 8 early here. Wieskamp, after he had it blocked, goes inside and gets a call.
Might have been a little lucky. Good block in the first instance on the 3-point line. And then it's like,
well, Drew,
it's pretty vertical, but this is an area, Derek. I want you to have a look at this. I say he shoots it too high. You want arc, but just too high.
Well, that one there was a function of bad tempo and poor rhythm. Let's see if he settles down. You often see that on the first free throw of a game for a player. Let's see if he settles slightly better. Too high still, I agree.
It's something that he's a shooter. He's supposed to be able to knock those down. For him to be shooting 50% from the free throw line is not good enough, but Wardenberg is on a tear.
It's free throws for him at the other end from 3-point land. Double figures already for Sam Wardenberg. Walton Jr. leaves that one a bit short.
See, that time they made the adjustment. They switched on Vidanovic. And yet, you might lead to some mismatches, but it's better than leaving Vidanovic out there all by himself. But Vidanovic says, hey, you've been so generous to me down the other end. I'm just going to reciprocate and give you all the time in the world you need to shoot a 3-ball.
He won the Next Gen Award a couple of years ago, Sam Wardenberg, 11-6. This year he's 16-7. 3 assists as well. He has been absolutely outstanding for the Snakes. Finding new facets to his game all the time.
Ooh.
Step back. Hello!
Absolutely shook Foxwell with a jab cross step. Loads it up, knocks down the 3. Great move. And Wardenberg single-handedly is keeping the Taipans within striking distance.
Got that little side spin dialed in beautifully as Sam Wardenberg, 13 points for him. And the Snakes trail by 8 at the Tangerine timeout, 16-24. Well, it's Malik Lewis's birthday. The next star turns 20 today. And we caught up with him pre-game.
It was a tough loss on Friday. What's been the message the last 24 hours from Coach King?
I think it was just like, let's come back home, reflect, and come out and be better.
How do you turn things around today and get the win over Cairns?
I mean, first starting off, not get fouled out. And yeah, just being aggressive the same way. Now that we're home, I think it'll probably be balanced out. And we can be aggressive, and be ourselves. And hopefully, that translates in a win.
Well, they've been plenty aggressive in the early going, and they've been absolutely efficient as well. 7 of 10 from outside.
And the Blackmore shot chart tells the story. Outstanding ball movement, leading to quality looks at the bucket, which they're converting. 7 of 10 from the 3, Andrew. 8 assists to only 1 turnover early.
Yeah. 8 assists on 8 field goals will make a coach feel good about the way the balance is in the half court.
And I think it's very important that you try and make this coach feel good.
Yeah, that's right, or else you're gonna hear about it.
Walton Jr. and Foxwell can't connect. And they're hearing about it right now. Josh King, he is a fairly vociferous character.
Love it.
Very nice guy.
Unfortunately, I've got to Google that word, but anyway,
Starts with V is
right.
a bit of a hint. Good take from Hoy going all the way in.
Black one. Push.
Again, productive against Brisbane last time out. First outing for the Snakes in a little bit over a week, so they come in rested, if a little bit undermanned.
And that was a game they felt they should have won. They squandered a 12-point lead at home to the Bullets. Couldn't find any scoring late in that game. And certainly we know they were down with some of their stars, but this lineup, Andrew, is stronger than that one that evening. And I would expect a competitive contest here from the Snakes.
Yeah, on the road can be a different proposition, but they ran out, to me, than that one. They just got tired. They ran out of legs.
Fade out late in that game, and the Bullets overwhelmed them. Glover's already got 3. Make it 4 for Angus Glover, who's channeling his best Chris Goulding impersonation.
And he finished off just great ball movement. Penetrate, dish, penetrate, dish. There's 3 levels of penetration, puts a whole lot of pressure on the defense, and Glover finds himself open.
Taylor from outside, he connects as well. So the Phoenix have hit 8 3-pointers in this first quarter. The Snakes have hit 5. Chris Goulding dropped something into the water supply here last night. Glover again. Wieskamp comes up with it.
Nice.
Hunter with the reverse finish.
Good job from Wieskamp. Those are the things that have to be a regular part of his game. Effort, hustle, second chance opportunities.
9-point Phoenix lead, just over a minute remaining in this opening frame. Wardenberg step back, short. Phoenix off and running. Glover's been really good in his minutes playing as that lead ball handler. Drops it into Hunter, off balance, gets it to go. And Geordie Hunter will step to the stripe to add one more.
He's got great timing and being able to read the ball handler, the angles to take to the bucket, and then he's got excellent hands, finishes nice and high. Just an outstanding big man in our competition.
Yep, good find though. And Glover was within his rights to let a couple fly from out of space, given the way he shot it, but he chose the better option.
Well, he's 4 or 5 at the moment from the 3 as Hunter knocks that free throw down. I say he's got a bit of rope to play with, Andrew.
You've got a license to let him fly. But good decision, though.
So back to that 12-point spread. Joel Peterson, Derek Rucker, Andrew Gay, Steph Baumgartel with you. Kenyon locking up Antonio. Armstrong back out there now for Cairns. Sizing up Glover, rises up. Leaves that one a little bit slow. 9 seconds between shot and game clock. Glover finds Wieskamp. The Snakes can hold it for the last possession of this opening frame. The best starting teams in the competition. South East Melbourne, they've led 7 times at quarter time already this season. And that's called over and back.
He's having all sorts of problems with the ball.
Well, Armstrong looks a little bit rusty, Drew. He doesn't have his timing yet.
Yeah, I hear, but they ain't got time to deal with the 3 turnovers that he's dished up. You know, one of them you probably forgive, but a couple of sloppy turnovers with the pass. And that time, just playing with his food out the top, trying to kill the clock and going nowhere, and just got himself into trouble.
So a chance for the Phoenix here to make it a 15-point game. Hunter! Thumps it down with the left hand. Rolls to the rim with intent. And a terrific start for the South East Melbourne Phoenix. Capped off with a jam from Geordie. Sobey drops it off. Hunter finishes in style. And Southeast Melbourne lead it by 14 points at quarter time, 34-20 at John Cain Arena.
Take your game from the local court to the big time. Apply now to step onto an NBL court after the final buzzer. Backing local ballers is just the beginning.
Ready to go in the second quarter here at John Cain Arena on Wurundjeri country as the NBL celebrates Indigenous round. And the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix are off to an extremely hot start. 14 points their lead at quarter time, 34-20. Joel Peterson, Derek Rucker, Andrew Gaze, Steph Baumgartel with you. Great to have your company. They have been inspired in the early going at the offensive end, Ruck, the Phoenix. They look really sharp.
An absolutely faultless display in that first quarter. 34 points, 12 buckets, 12 assists. A rare occurrence as Sobey lets one fly off the side of the backboard.
Yeah, the biggest problem is down this end of the floor. Sure, the turnovers are an issue for the Cairns Taipans, but their defense is just highly reactive and nowhere near the level of ball pressure. And they're pretty much coming down and getting what they want, Phoenix.
Matt Hurd in the corner. He's just been a little bit off all weekend. 3 of 16 on Friday night.
Now, I know he can shoot the three ball, Derek, but early on, he's really good on the box. And he just doesn't get a lot of touches on the box. And everyone playing 5-out basketball, I get that, but
Black bar, hit.
I still think that Hurt, when he's going through a bit of a patch, throw it to him on the box and see what the big fella can do down low every now and again.
Well, the flip side of success from the three-point line is you get a little bit addicted to it.
It's a beautiful feeling. It is. It's when you knock down that three ball. Oh dear.
Not many better feelings in the world, Andrew.
Taylor inside, he can't hit. Most recently playing in Israel. He's played all across the world. As we mentioned earlier, he played with the Kings a few seasons ago. So did this man, Vodanovic. Good defense inside by Armstrong. Both teams yet to open their account in this second period. Minute and a half gone. Wardenberg liked the look of that.
Oh, dear.
Sobey throws it in the corner of the end zone for Derek Walton Jr., who goes up and gets it. And here he's hurt. Mismatch on Antonio. That's what he wants to see. Just didn't drop for him.
I like the look, though. Down low.
Armstrong is fouled. Going to the line to shoot two will Tarrant Armstrong. Man out of Wynyard in northwest Tasmania. Great to see him back. So much spoken about his potential. Not only his potential, but what he's delivering right now as well, Ruck. And he is a player to watch in years to come.
And he's in a tough position right now. He understands how badly this team needs him to perform well. But it's quite clear, Andrew, in this first quarter and a bit, that his touch and everything that's required to be good at this game at the position just isn't quite there. It's going to be a couple of weeks still.
Yeah, this league's too good, and he's under too much pressure to think you can just take 3 or 4 weeks off and step
Well, he
right
was
back
hurt.
in.
It's not like he went to Bali.
That's what I'm saying. You take those times off, and you're not working out. You're not being able to get on the floor and continue to work on your craft. It's going to show, and it is right now.
But it's interesting, right, because Derek Walton Jr. is coming back from a similar stretch of being away from the game. But with the composition of each team, the pressure and the burden on those two guys is significantly different.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Walton can work his way back into it and not feel the pressure of expectations.
Congestion in there, you might not have been able to see those. We've got 3 of us.
I was on the baseline.
There's 3 of us for a reason.
I was on the baseline.
You were on the baseline.
Yeah. With
and
Ken.
you're fast.
With Ken. What's up?
King and Jackie Dover chatting things through.
Well, Jackie mentally is a fast processor. You better come with your best material if you want to get the better of her.
Coach still trying to learn who's who in the zoo as far as refereeing goes. Couple go at the line for Nathan Sobey. Hurt comes out of the game once more for the Phoenix.
Not overly thrilled about coming out of the game either.
Just under 9 minutes so far in the early going, Matt Hurt. Pulled up a little bit property from Friday night's game. Armstrong from way downtown. That's more like it.
And that might be something just to boost him up a little bit. His first few shots were out of rhythm, but right there, he catches one from deep too, Andrew, and lets it go.
Sobey keeps it alive somehow. Bogdanovic has already got a couple from outside. Back to Sobey, time winding down. Down to 3 on the shot clock. Jacks the triple. Armstrong the rebound. All points, the Phoenix lead. Wardenberg tosses it away. Turnover number 6 in the early going for Cairns.
And scoring slowed down significantly to open this second. Southeast Melbourne, only 2 points thus far.
Walton Jr. turns the corner. Tried to get the acrobatic finish to fall. Owen Foxwell getting set to come back into the game. Wardenberg past Hunter and one. Terrific finish from Sam Wardenberg.
I like this approach from Wardenberg. He understands that they need a big-time game from him, and he's going after it. Going after it with courage, not shying away from this opportunity.
It certainly is, as Owen Foxwell comes in for Derek Walton Jr. And this is a game where I'm sure that coming off that hamstring, Derek Walton Jr. is on those minutes restrictions.
Well,
and that can be highly frustrating when you want to get out there and just get some rhythm. But it comes out, and the margin now is reduced to 9, much more manageable levels.
Foxwell probing. Antonio got a hand on it. He was looking for Lewis. Sobey in the corner, attacking the defense. Geordie Hunter couldn't find it. We'll go back in orange. He did ask Derek Walton Jr. pre-game, Drewy, whether he was on a minutes restriction or not. Well, how would you describe his answer in a word?
That was a real quick spell. Geordie Hunter come in for Hurt for literally a minute. And now they come back in for Geordie Hunter.
He used the 8 players on Friday night. Josh King didn't go deep into his bench. Snakes have cut into this margin. Jonah Antonio is looking to take another chunk out of it. Gack taps it down into the crowd. So it's going to go back with South East Melbourne. Sobey, Lewis, Foxwell, Hurt, Vodanovich, the 5 on the floor for the Phoenix. Armstrong, Antonio, Gack, Wardenberg and Taylor for Adam Ford's Snakes. Hurt guarded by Wardenberg. Rises up, Matt Hurt, hand in the face, no worries.
Well, that's a tough shot, Andrew.
Particularly the way he shoots, he's got great size, and with that funky shooting technique, he brings it so high, it goes right across his body. It's not textbook, but you see, that's hard to contest. Wardenberg right there, touch distance, and Hurt just okay defense beats pretty good offense.
So South East Melbourne Phoenix up by 12. Their Indigenous round design, it's pretty striking, and Steph Baumgartel's with the man behind it.
It absolutely is. I've got Dixon Patton with me, the man behind the jersey that Phoenix are wearing today. Dixon, tell me, how does it feel to see it in all its glory?
It's electric. Yeah, it feels amazing. Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about the influence behind the jersey?
Yeah, it was about honouring the orange-bellied parrot and the fact that it's one of 3 parrots that migrate. It was honouring the broader community, you know, this part of the world that a lot of people come from other areas of the globe. They call this place home. But it was honouring the legacy and the resilience of First Nations people, that we understand that kind of like loss of habitat. And so it's just bringing awareness so that, you know, that everyone that lives here now, it's all our duty to care for country, protect country.
Absolutely, it looks amazing, a special story, and it seems to be a lucky jersey as well. Thank you and enjoy the game.
Thank you.
Steph Baumgartel with Dixon Patton, and it's a great celebration of First Nations culture. Indigenous round, of course, not only in Australia, but in New Zealand as well, and so many different parts of society that have contributed to our great game. First Nations people, a massive part of that. It keeps to grow every year, and 2 pretty striking designs out there this afternoon. South East Melbourne Phoenix with the better of the ball game at the moment. Joel Peterson alongside NBL MVPs Derek Rucker and Andrew Gaze. First leg of a doubleheader, Adelaide and Illawarra still to come this afternoon. So a big evening of hoops. Jonah Antonio from outside.
Got to play him tight. Just a slight slip up there from Malik Lewis. Gave him too much space. But right now, the Phoenix have lost their way on the offensive end. Glover had to go to the bench with those 2 fouls. Now he's back in. Let's see if that ignites them on this end of the floor.
Vodanovich to Lewis in the corner. That one's well short. Armstrong dives on it. Hurt comes up with it, hangs and hits. Josh King looking like he's going to go and play some transition defense. He was sprinting to mid-court that quickly. 41-30, 4 minutes 30 remaining in this second frame. Taylor to Armstrong. That's more like it again from Taryn.
Excellent execution on the screen, dive and replace. Armstrong's now knocked down 2 threes.
Just looks like he's dialed things in the last couple of minutes. Lewis in attack mode. Strong finish. Blake Lewis started 7 games for the Phoenix this season, 23 minutes. 20-year-old out of San Fernando in Trinidad and Tobago. Wardenberg left alone. Nowhere near it. Should have done better that position. That hurt with the one-legged fadeaway.
Trying to channel his Dirk Nowitzki. It really
Good
probably didn't need to on that one. He could have just gone straight up for the shot. Instead made it trying to seek out some extra style points, which really aren't on offer.
Armstrong loses the handle. Lewis with the takeaway, and Vidanovic comes away with it. Glover thought about it. Instead drives inside and gets the roll.
He's been very tough today. 14 points. He's a plus 17 in his 12 minutes on the floor.
Coming off 17 on Friday. Oh, okay, Gack.
I like it. I think we need to see more of it from him when he's attacking that rim. He's got great size and was well above the rim. Vidanovic comes in with the foul.
And Andrew, we saw this Taipans team defeat Melbourne United earlier in the season on this floor. And Kyron Galloway was a much different player then. He was on fire early, but Drew, the past couple of rounds, he hasn't been sharp. He's only played 3 minutes or so, and he's seemingly fallen out of the rotation.
I think it's also got to do with priorities. When you've got players out on the floor, when you've got other stars around you, it's a lot more difficult for him to find his spot, because right now, with the start that he had to the season, way more attention being put into him now than it was back then because of the hot start that he got.
0 of 7 across his last 2 games, Kyron Galloway. He's only hit multiple threes on one occasion in his last 7 outings. Antonio with the steal away from Hurt. Higgins-Titcher to Groves. Back to Galloway, who just hung on to it. Antonio, quick release. Glover secures it. Tanner Groves came across to accost him. 11-point Phoenix lead, 45-34. We tick toward the 2-minute warning in this opening half. Foul off the ball.
Off the ball foul on Glover. Trying to run that curl screen, but when he's white hot, they're bumping him every time he cuts to the basket.
Career high 18 points for Angus Glover. He has 17 Friday night, 14 already in this one. Wardsburg's got 16 for Cairns. Sobey bumping his way inside, loops it up. Hurt pulled it down. There's a foul underneath. And the big fella will step to the strike.
Sobey's 1 of 8. And that was a tough shot. If you're 1 of 7, Derek, and then you're going in and trying to make a play like that. Now, the good thing is he's got the 6 assists.
Download the free NBL app now. You can win a $1,000 Visa gift card. Get all the latest breaking news, live scores, stats, Supercoach scores, your favourite weekly shows like the Friday edition of NBL Now, if you don't mind, Overtime and The Huddle. Scan the QR code to download the app and follow your prompts to win.
Joel, no mention of moments that mattered.
That'll be coming. That'll be coming later on. Galloway inside. I just didn't want to get the people excited when I've got big shoes to fill tomorrow. Ruck. True. Might just be a little bit on edge. You never know. Walton Jr. to Kenyon. Saw a canyon as he drove to the lane. Couldn't finish. Groves looking inside. His Titcher is fouled by Walton Jr.
Good recognition by Groves. He knew that Alex was down low and had the size advantage. A lot of the times they don't even look in there and recognise it. Works his way to the free throw line to shoot a couple.
So the DP from Cairns. First point of the evening. Made his way onto that roster in that big tryout they had. He, right. Cody Statman and Dylan Stipe as well.
And Dylan Stipe, who has played meaningful minutes early this season and fairly productive for his time on the floor, has yet to get on the hardwood today.
Kyle had them in the same boat. Hurt the fadeaway. Won't fall. Rebound collected by McCoy. Minute remaining in this first half. Galloway down the lane.
Good run here by the Cairns Taipans. And to me, This has just been some sloppy execution by the Phoenix on the offensive end. Starting to take a whole lot more contested shots. Give some credit to the Cairns Taipans. This is what happens when you switch.
7-0 run. Hurt. Whoa. Collected by Groves.
Now, he did get ball, but I thought there was a lot more contact. Probably warranted a foul. We see a good angle. Oh, my.
That's a bit sort of Grant Williams on Jason Tatum-esque.
Well, to me, it was almost like he was ready to concede the foul. He was going in there wanting to foul to make sure that they wasn't the easy two.
Sophie uses the body. And he gets a call.
Higgins' teacher just opens up the hips a little bit.
Have your warning on the Phoenix. Ken Widgeon say.
I think it's on the coach, on Josh King, I assume, because although he's not using any profanity, he's pretty demonstrative with his conversations he's having with the officials. Eventually, they've had enough.
Well, maybe it's like a new puppy, Drew. They're house training him.
Well,
in that case, having got a new puppy in the last 18 months or so,
yeah.
I hope someone's got some paper towel handy.
Yeah.
Background story.
See?
I got you. I got you. Doesn't matter. You're right. Come on, Joe!
Jackie Divers putting the hard work in to get the reward later. So McCoy, 9-second difference shot and game clock for the Snakes. Groves just burrows his way into the chest of Hurt. Can't finish. 14 seconds left here for Nathan Sobey in southeast Melbourne, who led by 15 earlier in this term. Cairns got it back to 7. They can push it out beyond double digits here. Walton Jr. smooth with it. Got it to Sobey. The pass inside. Splits the defence. And if Josh King's hands went to his head with any more force, he would have decapitated himself.
Well, that's one I think that the expectation is that Sobey's going to shoot it. He's open from the three-point line, and sure, Matt Hurt might have been on, but I can understand why he was focusing more on the rebound rather than the ball coming his way.
And the door's ajar. Armstrong, the quarterback pass. Antonio has it collected by Sobey, who walks off frustrated to the locker room at half-time. But he does have the lead in his and Southeast Melbourne's back pocket. 49-40 at half-time. The Phoenix have led by as many as 15. The Snakes did a good job to close things up.
Not a bad job by the Taipans to stay in touch. This lead is in single figures. The Phoenix didn't look good in that second quarter. This game is anybody's.
Tell you who has looked good. Angus Glover is with Steph Baumgartel.
Sure is. Angus, it's been a bit of a three-point clinic out there from you guys so far. Where's that come from?
Just the work we put in every day at practice. Yeah, we're trying to get up and down, play as fast as we can. We're getting open looks by doing it. So if we keep doing that, hopefully they keep going in.
The margin's gotten a touch closer as we edge towards that half-time mark. What will be the message from Coach King to keep the pressure on for the next 40?
40's good for a half of basketball, but we kind of let them back in the game there towards the end, and just not locking into the scout, letting guys get some easy points. Yeah, it's just not how we want to play defense. Thank you.
7-point game at halftime, a 9-point game it is to the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. 49-40, we'll break it all down on the other side of this.
Ini Maliju, Nadi Rajri, Murumambu, Mujiganga Langbu, Mambu, Boyabu, Nina Rajrija, Marambanga, Baladu, Jiramal Rajri Birang, Brangu Gilang, Mandangu.
Our First Nations culture, it's 65,000 years old. We want all Australians to own that, not just say that's just the Aboriginal culture, but it's Australian culture. My name's Luke Penrith. I'm a proud Wiradjuri man from Brungle, where we are today, but I've also got cultural and spiritual connections to the Gambangari people of the north coast of New South Wales, the Yuin people of the south coast of New South Wales, and the Watchabolik, the Western Victoria mob out that way. The artwork title is Flowing Unity. We're sitting in the backdrop of the Chimit River at the moment. Waterways, creeks, rivers, it's the lifeblood of communities. Like our family, basketball is a part of our life, and across Australia, water is the lifeblood of our country. On this artwork, 90% of it's traditional that's been handed down to me. A lot of my artwork don't have dots. Dots are mainly in Northern Territory, Western Australia. Our people in Wiradjuri, we use a lot of lines and a lot of squiggles, so you'll see a lot of that. So I've been a basketball fan since I was about 4 years old. So I remember vividly going to NBL games when I played country championships in Sydney. It wasn't necessarily about winning or playing, it was just the adventure. You got out of your own community, you played against the best in the region, you made friends. Those are the things that you look back on when you have kids. It's not about the trophies and the medals.
Dribble straight up, zigzag, yep.
My kids have got aspirations to, play in the NBL one day. I just love watching them. It's very personal to me, being a basketballer growing up. Now watching my kids come through the system and really having fun, you can see them smile, but also they're telling their friends about Dad's doing the artwork for the NBL, so they've got a bit of bragging rights there. But if this encourages other kids, other First Nations people to pick up the ball and have a go at it, I think I've done my job.
Game balls look terrific across this NBL Indigenous round, and they've been going in at a rapid rate for the South East Melbourne Phoenix in the first half. 49-40 our halftime score. Phoenix by 9. Joel Peterson alongside NBL MVPs Andrew Gaze and Derek Rucker on the call this afternoon. There's our halftime match stats. And Drewy, the big feature in the first half, the three-point shooting really of both teams.
Yeah, in particular, both of them are shooting the ball really well. 8 of 18 for the Cairns Taipans, 9 of 18 for Phoenix, but they were white hot and they tapered in that second quarter, and I think both teams, you look at the output in that second quarter was a little down overall scoring wise, and I got a sense that the South East Melbourne Phoenix let the Taipans off the hook. They put themselves in a real commanding position, but that second quarter, Taipans fought back strongly and started to get Taron Armstrong going, and the game starts to look a whole lot different.
It's precisely what Angus Glover said at halftime to Steph as he went into the locker room. He's our featured player at Hungry Jack's halftime highlights. 14 points, 4 of 5 from downtown ruck. Again, he's had a really strong performance.
Well, he got them going in the first quarter, picking up where he left off Friday night. He's shooting the ball much better now, seems more comfortable since the coaching transition occurred. And not only is he shooting it well, but he's setting up the offense. He's doing a good job in trying to get the ball into the paint, set up others. And Andrew, he's a very valuable player to have in your lineup as a local player. Now, things are going to shift when Derek Walton Jr. gets fully fit, but it's good to have Angus Glover performing at this level as we look at the Blackmore shot chart.
Well, if he keeps shooting like that, particularly from the three-point line, they might shift, but they're not going to shift all that much for Angus Glover because the ability to put the ball in the hole is something that can't be underestimated. And down the other end of the floor, it's how they guard the three-point line as well. The Cairns Taipans, 38% of their buckets this season is coming from the three-point line. That's number 1 in the competition. So if you guard the three-point line, then you're going to be better suited. And I think they gave up a few. Little jab step there, steps back. Wardenburg started on fire, and they've been able to knock down 8 three-pointers in that first half.
Well, they looked shaky at first. They didn't look good in that first quarter. Only got 20 points, but even the second quarter, Drew, even though it was the same amount of offensive output, it just looked better. The turnovers were down, and now it looks like they have a little bit better of an idea of how they can win this game. Look, it's an uphill battle from here, but it's a contest.
And let's not forget, when the Cairns Taipans are out there leading rebounder and leading scorer. So that is a big chunk of offense that you're missing out on. But so far, they've done a good job of hanging around.
And Sam Wardenberg's been a big part of that. 9-point lead to the Phoenix as we go toward the second half. It's all coming up after this.
Watch screen. Left, keep left. Move in. Yeah.
Matt Hurt mic'd up as our Harvey Norman in the zone player this afternoon. 7 points, 4 rebounds for him. 2 of 7. He was 3 of 16 on Friday night, but we know, Ruck, that he can get going in an awful hurry.
He showed some signs in that second quarter. But Drew, I kind of agree with you said in the first. Get him down on the block, a little bit closer to the bucket. See if he can draw some fouls, get to the line, and just get his confidence and his numbers up that way.
Great to have you with us. First leg of a doubleheader on a Sunday afternoon from John Cain Arena. Phoenix by 9 as we get started in this second half. Sobey rises up from the free throw line. Hunter can't keep it alive.
Good look for Sobey, and he needs to find something cheap to get his confidence going. 1 of 9 now from the field.
Antonio Wardenberg, AK Gack, Armstrong and Taylor. The lineup to start this second half for Adam Ford. Wardenberg's been shooting it with confidence. Sobey, Hunter, Glover, Lewis and Hurt, the 5 starters back out there for Southeast Melbourne. Hurt tried to create some space. Glover hit 4 triples in that first half. Hunter battling down low, spinning, but can't hit. And Antonio couldn't collect the rebounds.
And perhaps part of the reason why Matt Hurt is spending so much time on the perimeter, Andrew, is the presence of Jordy Hunter. But Jordy Hunter, he is great in the high post area, working outside the three-point. He's good in the dribble handoff action. He passes well. Swap that spot, swap that positioning on the court. Whoa.
Yeah, I think it's also a fact that just the way in which they want to play, the 5 out, the penetrate, the dish, they want to spread the floor. But both these guys, I think, particularly when you think of Hunter, he is very good at diving to the rim and that pick and roll as a diver, as well as it was Hurt. He just seems to want to concentrate on picking and popping.
They haven't gotten the best out of Jordy Hunter in Southeast Melbourne colours as yet.
Not bad. He's had some good performances. Just got to find that level of consistency. I think he's been one of the better pickups of any team in the off-season.
Lewis, that one rattles around. So much as we did in the second term, it's been a slow scoring start to this third period. Yak finds Wardenberg on the move. Glover with ball handling duties for the Phoenix. Hurt, no hesitation. Why would you hesitate?
Good to see one go in. Both teams have had some okay looks, just haven't been able to knock them down.
The adjustments in this second half for Adam Ford. What do you think the message from him would have been at half-time?
Just keep plugging away, and for them, Andrew, I think on the defensive end, if you can generate some fast break opportunities, because they've got none in the game.
Yeah, and more of the same what we saw in the second quarter, held the Phoenix to only 15 points.
Armstrong's going to get another look at it. Nice feed from Wardenberg. And then he tosses it away. 4th turnover for Tarrant. And Lewis runs the floor off to Glover. 16 for Angus Glover.
And from the Phoenix point of view, I think Josh King would want to see some killer instinct as Armstrong pushes it early and draws a foul. But the other night in Sydney, the Phoenix had opportunities to put the Kings away, were unable to do so. And now with a shaky Taipans outfit, let's be real, they should blow these guys out in this second half.
Well, they had signs of that early on, and started his third. We're seeing him again because of the Cairns' inability to make the shots they're supposed to make and keep the scoreboard ticking over.
Well, they're down at 37% now from the field. Respectable from the line, the three-point line, that is the Taipans. But it's trending in the wrong direction. And these next few minutes are vital.
19.2 points per game hold in the space of Rob Edwards to try and make up for. Glover doesn't get the roll that time. Rebound bounces around and Tanner Groves comes up with it, returning from a calf injury, scoreless so far. The big man, first season in the NBL for him. Taylor stepping back on Hurt.
Shot selection has been really poor to open this third quarter.
Like Adam Ford's pretty frustrated with it at the moment.
I don't think Josh King is actually overly elated either, as he's trying to get an understanding still of his players and what they do and finding opportunities for them. And he's going to make some wholesale changes here. Luke Rosendale is going to come into the game.
No, I think it's just a timeout.
Oh, timeout, yeah. I was about to say. Woo.
So Tangerine timeout. 54-42, 6:17 remaining here in this third period. After this, Adelaide and Illawarra, a marquee matchup to preview that one. Kelsey Brown and Pete Hooley.
Thanks, guys, here at Adelaide Entertainment Centre for Indigenous round. It's Adelaide 36ers up against the Illawarra Hawks. Pete Hooley here with me, Sunday Hoops. What are you most excited about?
We got two championship contenders, both coming off disappointing losses the last time they played, but there's matchups galore in this one I'm excited for. You got Montrezl Harrell versus Darius Days, Sam Froling, Isaac Humphries, two of the best local centres in the league. Kendrick Davis versus Trey Kell, his former club, he's coming up to play against. And if you like CG's explosion last night, well, no one can probably emulate it, but two guys who could go close, Tyler Harvey and DJ Vasiljevic.
Well, I thought you were going to say you and Felix von Hoff then, but don't go anywhere, guys. It's Adelaide and the Illawarra Hawks up next.
Let's hope Pete's still there. He didn't just take the service exit out the back.
Oh, wow.
Unlike Pete to throw the toys out of the closet.
Well, that's going to be a great game. Adelaide and Illawarra. Top 4 implications.
Yeah.
Both teams trying to build upon early season success.
And if Adelaide can just tidy up some of their work on the defensive end, I think they've got the tools to compete with the very best in the competition. But they have looked a little vulnerable at times at that end of the floor.
Given up some big numbers throughout the course of the season. They are a different side at home. Haven't lost there in the calendar year, though, Adelaide. Hurt misses that one. So Adam Ford called the timeout. Steph Baumgartel, what did he have to say?
Well, he wasn't happy. He's told the boys that they make it too easy for Phoenix. He said he's not too unimpressed with their defensive effort, but they seem to be lacking offensively.
Just the 2 points so far. Groves turns that one over. Lewis won't have an easier pick all season. Now he has to fight for the rock. Snakes get it back. Hit a head pass to Taylor. Jacks the three. No good. Three-point shooting. 0 of 5 so far in this term. And Sobey goes up to the other end and strokes it.
He gets a clean look in transition. He gets the feet set, knocks it down.
Equal game high 15-point lead for the Phoenix. Groves puts the head down across the lane. Foul.
And I know Tanner Groves has missed a lot of basketball, but I think they've got to figure out how they're going to get something out of him. Right now, I can't see it. You know, he hasn't been an absolute bull on the glass so far in the short number of games that we've seen. And offensively, trying to find his role, that's something 40 between him and 40. They've got to figure out a way that they can get a little bit more out of him. Because even prior to this, it was 10 points a game, what, 3 or 4 boards a game. They need more.
Here he comes. Won't get it to go that time. Kyle Adlam out there for his first minutes of the game. Of course, former Phoenix player. Sobey almost tossed that one away. Walton Jr. had to test the hamstrings to save it. Hurt puts it on the floor. Spins inside, loses the handle. McCoy's got a 1-on-2. Takes it all the way. He's fouled.
And there are a number of players out here, Andrew, coming back from injury, just trying to find their timing.
You can unlock the ultimate fan experience this season with the NBL Plus feature via the NBL app. Sign up for free via the QR code on screen. You can get in-depth stats, archival footage, and much more. Go deeper inside the game this season with NBL Plus. Sign up via the QR code on screen and do so via the NBL app. Jackson McCoy at the free throw line, trying to chip away at this margin that the Phoenix have had. They've been in control throughout proceedings. Much like Friday night, they've led from the outset. I'll be hoping to repeat, not to repeat, the fade out from Friday.
Well, the Phoenix have tried to go with more of a perimeter look now. They got both their bigs on the bench at the same time. Both Hunter and Hurt.
Kenyon, Walton Jr., Vodanovic, Sobey, Wieskamp, the 5 for Josh King. Derek Walton Jr. driving inside with a nice finish.
Well, they haven't been good from inside the 3 this evening, Andrew, this afternoon, sorry. They're actually shooting the ball better from the 3-point line than they are inside of it.
11 triples for the Phoenix in the ball game. Adnam comes off the screen, gives it up to Galloway. 5 seconds on the shot clock for McCoy. Extends the arm, creates some space. Can't hit over Kenyon. Collects his own rebound, but tosses it away. Walton Jr. and Vodanovic in the two-man game. Sobey jacks it.
I reckon this last 3.5 minutes is going to decide whether we've got a ball game or not. And it's somehow or other, Cairns have got to find a way to get some points.
Just the 4 points in the quarter thus far. Stays with Southeast Melbourne. Vodanovic nowhere near it. 10 points in the quarter for Southeast, just a 4 for the Snakes. After we had 54 between these two teams in the opening frame, and 13 three-pointers as Galloway finally unlocks the key to the bucket for Cairns.
And Drew, if they find anything that works moderately well, they need to stick with it.
Vodanovic with the right hand, no good. Rebound McCoy. 13-point ball game, 2:43 remaining. Antonio, quick release. Not the answer they were looking for. And Wieskamp, he can't find it at the other end.
Look at the Amy replay. And Galloway, that's what he's capable of doing. He can knock down the three ball, but a simple middle pick and roll. Soft switch and a relatively free pathway to the rim.
And he's 3 of 3 this afternoon for 6 points. You're probably going to have to ride with him. He's been one of the more productive big men outside of Sam Wardenberg. Maybe go with those two in the front court for long stretches in the fourth quarter.
Here he is trying his luck for 3. Finally gets one to fall. 0 of 7 in his past 2 games coming into this. Kyron Galloway connects. And Josh King wants a tangerine timeout to talk it over with his team.
Oh, he's not happy with Wieskamp. I think, judging by the reaction, he was expecting a switch, and Wieskamp didn't. And well, he realized it too late.
When the coach says to you, "What are you doing?" you're probably wrong.
So 59-49, they've chipped away at what was a 15-point Southeast Melbourne margin, the Cairns Taipans. It was an equal game high not too long ago for the Phoenix. Let's listen in to Josh King.
Shooting big, he pops, he's over the screen, you're hanging out. Get back, or hedge and get back. Do one of the two. Don't just do nothing. I got you. Hey, let's go double. Play out a double. Follow behind. Double.
Ooh. Well, he wants some action on the ball. And
sorry. Reebok influencer seats, Drewy. So checkers and stray from Marmalade. Very, very funny men. And Luke Curry-Richardson, who's a storyteller working across dance, photography, poetry and activism. Sitting courtside.
Time, Josh King, if you heard in the timeout, he's talking about, he's given them 2 options on how they want to guard the on-ball. But I think sometimes that can be even too many. Just make it simple as Walton Jr. knocks it down. And it comes down to me, more who's in the actions on what your rules should be.
Well,
Foxwell.
If I was Cairns, I'd be putting Wieskamp in a similar type action. Right there, Walton Jr. pulls up on a dime. He looked very comfortable getting into that shot.
Offensive foul. Going Kyron Galloway at midcourt.
And Coach Adam Ford quite simply said that was soft. I tend to agree.
Well, it's soft, but it shouldn't be a surprise. It's something that any time you're setting those screens, unless you are completely stationary, it's going to go the way of the defender.
Here comes Glover, blocked by Higgins' teacher. Terrific defense from the Cairns DP. And McCoy has chucked that one over Kyle Adams' head. There was a look of resignation on his face.
And that's McCoy just making just the smallest of error. It may not seem like much, but he caught it and took an extra dribble, then tried to pass it to Kyle Adams. The pass straight on, if you've got a shooter out there, that should have been straight away the pass rather than the dribble first.
Just the 9 points in this quarter for the Snakes. Their lowest in any quarter this season is 12. Glover for 2 more equals his career high with 18.
Does that surprise you that his career high is 18?
I thought for sure he had some big games with the Sydney Kings, but his past few rounds have been really impressive as McCoy gets to the rack. And the Taipans need to put the Phoenix in as many on-ball situations as possible. They're not doing a great job on the coverage.
Coming off an outstanding NBL 1 season, Angus Glover had a bit of a rough shooting start to the season as Walton Jr. lobs it up for Hunter's hammer.
That's just beautiful point guard play. Set that up magnificently for Geordie Hunter.
What a difference that man can make. Back to a 15-point spread out of the timeout. Gack from outside. Finally, AK Gack connects with one.
So they put Wieskamp in multiple positions where he had to defend the on-ball. He did well, then he got a little bit confused again, which led to that open 3.
AK Gack was 0 of 9 before that three-pointer on the season. Walton Jr. getting the Phoenix into their stuff, up by 12. Seconds ticking down, 1 second to go. Glover Jackson. No good. Adnam from half court. He wanted a call.
Yeah, he got it.
And he got it.
It's going to be 3. If the foul is called, it's going to be shooting 3.
Oh, are you fucking... Why is it
2 shots?
So,
yeah, reach around.
Drew, that looked like he was in shooting motion.
Well, he's gathered it. So he's gathered the ball right there and he's going
that
up.
That should be 3, correct.
Yeah. Kyle Adnam's making that case at the moment. 0.3 of a second. It sounds at least at this stage that Kyle Adnam's only going to the line for 2.
Shot. Before he picked it up. Okay, so it's on the ground, but we in the bonus. 2 shots. 2 shots.
Oh, they called it on the ground. Well, if it's the reach around, he was in the act of shooting.
He was, and the Taipans can feel slightly aggrieved to not get the opportunity to get an extra point going into the 3-quarter break.
Even more than slightly. Adnam misses it. Hunter tips it off the rim. And an opportunity goes begging at the end of the term. The margin 11 points as we turn for home. Southeast Melbourne 66 to the Cairns Taipans 55. Quarter remaining here at John Cain Arena. Indigenous round in the Hungry Jacks NBL. A great celebration of First Nations culture and its contribution to our great game. Terrific scenes pre-game with the welcome to country and the traditional ceremony. Such a feature of every NBL season right across the competition. 11 points the spread here. Joel Peterson, Derek Rucker, Andrew Gaze, Steph Baumgartel with you. 66-55, quarter to go. The Snakes had an opportunity late in that term. Denied 3 free throws at the line, and Kyle Adnam could only hit one of them. They've got the rock to start here in this final term. And AK Gack thumps it down early.
Good passing in traffic. Worked their way through that nicely.
So 9 points the spread.
Just a bit of scoreboard pressure now.
So what's the path to victory? What's the method for Cairns if they're to get there?
To me, it's what took place in that second quarter, in the way in which they were to really, and big chunks of the third as well, but what they were able to do defensively. It was that's going to be where they're at, because the evidence so far is they're struggling to score. So they've got to somehow or other hold the Phoenix 14, and then for them to get high 20s, and they gives themselves a chance.
And I think within what you said is really being aware of certain Phoenix players like a Derek Walton Jr., who you know are going to try and impact this game in the fourth quarter, not allowing him to do so. And then offensively, look, Drew, sometimes you just got to knock down shots.
That's right. And they've had problems with that. So to me, if I was Adam Ford saying, hey, we're going to hope we're going to make shots and get hot, whatever it may be, but it's all for nothing if you can't get the stops. Just the sheer maths of it.
Wardenberg went scoreless in that third quarter. Glover has already got an equal career high. Now he's got a new career high. 20 for Angus Glover.
And that's certainly a way in which the Phoenix can seal this game. That screen looked a bit rough as Adnam pulls up. No good. And that's poor offense.
Sobey's got 6 assists. Hurt left all alone. Too much muscle. 70-57. Adelaide and Illawarra to come later on this afternoon, 4:30 Eastern Daylight Time. That is a marquee matchup. Do not go anywhere. Armstrong. Adnam for 3. Galloway's able to secure it. Need a few more like that to fall. Hurt's triple goes in. A new game high. 16-point lead to the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. 8:03 remaining. Southeast 73-57. And if you're Adam Ford, that hurts.
It does, and the Phoenix continued success from the three-point line, and now 13 of 28. And that's been a savior for them in building this lead.
And what a turnaround it is. Down the other end, you get a real good look for Galloway around the bucket. You miss that, and straight away you get punished with a 3-ball down the other end. 5-point turnaround.
A lot of work to do for Adam Ford and his Taipans in the late game situation here. 73-57. Sam Wardenberg scoreless since half-time. Angus Glover with a new career high, 20 points. (73-57). Southeast Melbourne by 16 with 8 minutes remaining here at John Cain Arena. And the Cairns Taipans have got an uphill battle.
Well, Southeast Melbourne are getting timely buckets now from the star players. They haven't had much input from the bench today, so any buckets they can get down the stretch are going to be big.
The urgency is clear for the Snakes. Armstrong can't hit. What did Adam Ford have to say, Steph?
He was really just trying to rally around the players. He said, to put it simply, we look tired. We just have to finish this one out.
They looked tired last time out against Brisbane. They've had plenty of rest since that point, but they're undermanned. Sam Wardenberg hits the floor.
Gee, that was one where it looked like Geordie Hunter had established position. Now, we don't like to see players get hurt, but maybe just leaning forward, his feet were set, but just the can't really see it on that angle.
He's gone down pretty heavily, Sam Wardenberg, who's had concussion issues in the past too, so.
Yeah, and it's not the fact that he doesn't get hit in the head, it's the contact and what that does internally. So you don't have to get a hit directly to the head to have a head injury, but it's automatic now, and I dare say that he is going to be out for the game.
Should be a real shame. He's going to head out the back and seek some treatment. It just adds another layer of dilemma to Adam Ford's afternoon.
And you're right, Drew, it wasn't violent, but it was jarring.
Yeah.
Antonio off target. Almost that whiplash effect that might have caused the issue for Wardenberg. So hope the best for the Kiwi big man. Sobey all the way inside. Some good rim protection from Higgins, Titcher and Galloway.
And you look up and you see the scoreboard, you're 16 down, and you try and get that back quickly, and you have an overemphasis on the free ball because that's poor defense on the underneath out of bounds. But you're getting forced into the threes, and already in this quarter, they've been prepared just to blaze away from the three-point line without any success.
Armstrong can't float it home. They regain possession, the Snakes. Armstrong, Antonio, Gack, Galloway, Taylor, the 5 for Adam Ford. And Gack has taken several steps too many.
Oh, he was trying to dance with it down there on the block. Didn't get his feet right. Now, Phoenix with a real opportunity to drive it deep into Taipan's heart.
Hunter, Glover, Sobey hurt. And Lewis, the 5 for Southeast. Couple of shots coming for Nathan Sobey. Now number 4 on Kyron Galloway. He's got 9 points. No other Taipans in double figures apart from Sam Wardenberg so far. Southeast Melbourne have got 4 and scored 10 or more.
He got those in the first half too, so it's been hard to identify where the priority is going to be on the offensive end for the Cairns Taipans in this second half, and as such, 57 points is very hard to defend a score like that.
Sobey splits them at the line. 6:30 remaining here at John Cain Arena. Antonio loses the handle. Sobey picks his pocket, drops it off to Hurt. 2 more for Southeast Melbourne, and the lead above 20.
Well, this was always a danger, Andrew. Just too many bodies that Southeast Melbourne could throw. Oh.
And Jonah Antonio has been tossed unceremoniously.
2
Red
techs.
6, 2 technical fouls, he's gone.
Usually when they've called the second that quickly, he said something that's highly offensive and used language which is completely inappropriate.
I would say by the way that Ken Widgeon exited him from the venue, that might be exactly what happened, because he wasn't mucking around.
You haven't heard that? You need an explanation on the technical foul?
Well, 78-57, 6:13 remaining.
I think he was upset with, obviously, the turnover in the backcourt, thought that there must have been a foul missed, but that is completely the wrong way to react, given the circumstances of this game. I shouldn't even say that, under any circumstances, but even more so in the context that we see this game currently at.
Standing timeout for Adam Ford and his men at that end of the floor.
I reckon that timeout wasn't so much about X's and O's. It's about how we want to finish this game. He wants to finish.
Let's keep our heads in the game.
With a bit of class. Yeah, there was not a lot of thought going into it. He camouflaged what he was saying well. And then that little contact at the end, that was just accidental.
But all the way as he was coming back up the court, he was barking at the referee, and I'm sure there were some words exchanged.
And then he gets the call, and there's some more words exchanged.
Correct.
He wanted, I think sometimes when you know you've got a tech, you go ahead and, well, I want to get value for money for this tech. And
well, he got it.
He didn't. He actually got more than that, and he came out on the wrong side of it because he's now in the locker room. And I'm sure a very unimpressed head coach in Adam Ford.
You see Sam Wardenberg back up on the bench for the Snakes. So 22 points, game high lead for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Galloway to try and get them out of the offensive funk, does just that, rattles in the 3-ball. Just the 5 points in the quarter so far for Cairns. Glover's got 20 to lead all scorers. Sobey fires. Coy and Gak both in attack mode. And an offensive foul, so that will not help the Snakes' cause.
Gak knew he had the size advantage, but just the reach with the right arm. Watch his right arm in the left of your screen, right there. Cops him on the snoz. And nothing malicious about it. Just
it wasn't much, but it was enough.
Yeah.
15 turnovers for the Snakes in this one. And Glover adds to his new career high. 22 for Angus Glover, who is having some kind of game, some kind of weekend. Steal for Kenyon. Walton Jr. 3 more for the Phoenix.
I know Taron Armstrong's not necessarily in game shape, but he's got to come and get that ball. They got 3 guys that can handle the ball, and it's almost inexcusable when you've got 3 guys on the floor that have experience running the one spot. There's the double team. You've just got to be able to pivot his way and pass out of it, but it just seems like it's all getting a little too hard for the Cairns Taipans right now. And this is something that Josh King has wanted to do. He's been all about getting up and in, picking up full court, a lot of pressure in the back court.
And that Southeast Melbourne defence has been terrific.
It has, and this won't hurt their climb up the defensive rankings.
Kenyon probing. Hunter likes the mismatch. Onto the reverse, couldn't finish. Kenyon has it swatted by Galloway. Hunter on the 3rd attempt.
Well, Kenyon can continue to apply this pressure in the back court. It's going to earn him some more minutes from Josh King.
Seemingly he's King's type of player, right?
Yeah, because he's up and in. He wants those guys that as soon as there's a basket made, he's in the lanes, up and in, putting pressure in the back court.
Walton Jr., nice pass. Bogdanovic for 3. Foxwell with some energy. and intensity. They'll go back in orange colours. That hurts paid sparingly in this second half. Just the 24 minutes, but 15 points.
Wieskamp had a quiet one. No points in his 13 minutes on the floor, so it's a chance for him to take home a little goodie bag at the end of the game, Drew.
I think these minutes are important for him, just to try and get something going. Feel a bit better about yourself, because he hasn't been great in this one, and still trying to find his way in the NBL.
Taylor misses. Benair getting set to check in for some run. Foxwell has it swatted by Galloway. Armstrong flies from end to end. Good defense for Danovich. Last touch by the South East Melbourne man.
Take a game, yeah? Okay.
And Benair, fan favourite here. Checks into the contest. Derek Walton Jr. has done his work for the afternoon.
Solid performance and returning. Didn't aggravate anything, seemingly, Andrew. Just quality minutes.
Only played 17 minutes, 3 of 5 from the field, 8 points. But when the game started to get tight, it was he who showed that leadership in the third. Couple of big baskets and outstanding finds.
Wieskamp gets a look. That one's off the front iron. So they'll get to 5 and 7 with a win. They'll sit behind Perth. They'll leapfrog Brisbane. The season's very much still there for them, the South East Melbourne team.
Well, they have a big game in the next round at Perth. A chance to go into the FIBA break at 6 and 7 or 5 and 8. Either way, it has been a strong recovery from a dismal start to the season when things were looking excessively grim.
Oh, my word. And this game against Perth, they're the ones that they need to find those types of wins to catch up. Now, I think the way the season's going to unfold, that 500 will get you into a play-in game, and maybe a game or two less. But if you want to be a contender, which Phoenix had eyes on that at the start of the season with this roster they've put together, you need to do better than that. That's a nice play to get Galloway an easy couple.
It's the extra game this season with Hoops Fest as well, so 29 in the schedule for these teams. Foxwell looking for air, taken away by Taylor. Leans into Kenyon, gets the call. We know that there's no Rob Edwards for Cairns, which leaves a sizable hole. But this will be a 7th straight loss for the Snakes. And their offensive woes continue.
Well, the hard part, Andrew, I probably experienced losing streaks more so than you did, but you hope it doesn't affect team morale and guys continue to come in and put the hard hat on Monday morning early in the week when it is difficult bouncing back off of a road trip like this when you just got your butt kicked.
Yeah, well, that's right. And I think for Cairns, it's less of an issue because they've got so many injuries, and it's providing opportunity for others. And you come to work and you are prepared to put that hard hat on because you know that with some of the stars and big minutes guys are not playing, that you feel like, well, here's my opportunity to get some time. And we've seen that already with Alex Higgins Titcher. He's made the most of it back in this game.
John Taylor doesn't give the fans anything to go home with catering-wise. 18 points the lead for South East Melbourne. Biggest win in their franchise history over the Snakes is 29. Foxwell has it blocked. It's another one for Galloway, who's been racking up the rejections here in this final term. He's credited with 3, but it feels like he's got more. And Foxwell walls up at the other end. Terrific defense from the diminutive South East Melbourne guard.
Well, his time has been noticeably reduced today, Andrew, with Derek Walton Jr. back in the lineup. I thought he's been serviceable and a very good future for Foxwell.
I think it's just been a numbers game, and he's been the one. I think he's been better than serviceable, in fact, across the season. Foxwell this evening's only played the 12 minutes.
Played 23 on Friday for the Phoenix. Luke Rosendale scores. He's into the game. Wiescamp's timeout on the floor was fugacious at best.
Oh, hello. Here we go.
Ben Air making his move. And making his mark.
That's what he does, and that's what he can do.
One of the best in the league at it.
And to his credit, even when you've been sitting on the bench, that's hard for 36 minutes, and you get an opportunity to come in and do what you normally do, is hit down those threes. I got great respect for it.
And look, Andrew, we're not going to mistake this Cairns Taipans team today, especially being slightly depleted. We're not going to mistake them for the Celtics. However, Southeast Melbourne are still a vastly improved defensive team.
Oh, my word. And you look at the numbers, too, as far as holding opponents. They're holding opponents to 42% shooting.
Yep.
Which if it's not the best, it's right up there. It's one of the better. And now they're getting points from Ben Air and Adam Ford. John.
Oh, boy.
I enjoyed that a whole lot more when you were playing for me.
And a good relationship, the two of them. Ben Air's just putting a few daggers into the heart of the Snakes. 22-point lead for Southeast Melbourne. Taylor's fouled by Vodanovic. The Amy replay. Ben Air's injection into the game late proceedings.
Always needs to put a hand up. He acknowledges it. This one's a little harder in transition. Nothing but the bottom of the net.
All right, Andrew, let's see what Southeast Melbourne do in these final 17 seconds. Every point matters, right?
100%. We went through that at the start of the game.
Are they going to go for a bucket here?
They should.
Second highest score of the season already for them, Southeast Melbourne. Josh King's down on the end of the bench, congratulating his players. High fives are plenty.
And Josh King would be familiar with this, having coached in FIBA competitions in Europe. Now he understands that you need to keep trying to score.
Why not leave it with Ben Air? He's been shooting it nicely. 2 of 2 from 3 already. Air across the lane. Rosendale's a gunner. And he takes one for the road. Luke Rosendale caps a terrific performance from the Phoenix, who continue their rise into NBL 25. They move to 5 and 7 and hand the Snakes a 7th consecutive loss. The team that was on the bottom of the table keeps the Snakes consigned to the bottom of the table in a 97-74 win.
Well, a convincing win as the Phoenix pull away in this fourth quarter. They handle their business exactly how they were supposed to. 2 blowout wins here at John Cain Arena in consecutive Sundays, Andrew. Do they look like the real deal at all to you?
Well, their best is good enough. It's whether or not we can see their best on a more consistent basis. But Josh King has injected some enthusiasm, a bit more structure on the offensive end, and I think finding the balance with his rotations, and it's been really productive for them.
You look at the shot attempts, Andrew. The Taipans only took 60 shots compared to the Phoenix's 77. That is a tremendous disparity. And if you want to play really strong basketball and win games in this fashion, that's what's required.
17 turnovers for the Snakes. Taron Armstrong had 5 of them. He looked rusty on return. And they've got a few things to work through after that one. Do the Cairns Taipans. They go home to face New Zealand heading into the FIBA window. And as Rux told you earlier, the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix go to Perth for the 2nd time this season, with another trip to come out west.
Yeah, they got some travel to do, and as we mentioned, they got to play catch up, but their form is good enough to compete with the better teams, and they're going to be up against a very desperate Wildcats team as well.
Speaking of form, what about the form of Angus Glover? Terrific again, a new career high, 22 points, and he's with Steph.
Naturally, he's our Foot Locker player of the game. Angus Glover, congratulations, back on the winners list. How does it feel?
feels good. The best thing about this league is we get to play in 2 days, and yeah, we weren't happy with obviously being up for a majority of the game on Friday and then basically losing in the last 5. So yeah, to put a performance like that, yeah, pretty happy.
Career high 22 points. What's your secret?
I'm just trying to put work in every day in the gym. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of trust in the guys for me, and yeah, I'm just repaying their faith right now. And but yeah, the guys put me in good spots to succeed, and yeah, I'm just loving playing down here.
You seem to be thriving under Coach Josh King. Are you enjoying his coaching style?
Yeah, love it. You can see he's so high energy, and he's a player's coach. So yeah, I feel it's pretty easy to get up and play for him, to be honest.
Well done, enjoy it.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Angus Glover shooting 30% on the season for three-pointers. He was 15 of 50 coming into this one. He leaves at 4 of 7, 22 points, a new career high. Another big game for him.
Well, he's trending astronomically upwards. And we know that he has this talent. As you mentioned, he had a great offseason in the NBL 1. And in the last 3 or 4 weeks, he's starting to put really good numbers on the board, playing the point guard position in Derek Walton Jr.'s absence. Andrew, in 24 minutes, he was a plus 33 on the court.
Yeah, it's really well done by him, and when he sees the early 3-ball dropping in, it does wonders for his confidence.
Makes all kinds of difference for him. We heard plenty from Matt Hurd today. He was a Harvey Norman in the zone player, and he sold it up to Steph.
15 points for yourself, plenty of players in double digits. What did you like most about that win?
I think we're just all playing unselfish. I mean, Coach preached passing the ball, moving it. I think we did that tonight. 4 guys in double figures, that's great basketball right there.
Coming back after a tough loss on Friday, what was the message from Coach King to turn things around so quickly today?
I think just having a different mindset. I think we had a really good defensive game against Sydney on Friday. Offense wasn't good, so I think just moving pace, setting screens, slipping screens, stuff like that, he really preached, so he did a good job.
Seemed a little fiery out there at times. Jonah Antonio ejected. Did it feel as heated as it looked?
I mean, I don't really know what happened over there. I just saw the 2 texts, and he was out of the game. I guess he was kind of mad. We were kind of picking up full court, but, you know, Coach King's done a great job of trying to make us do that all game, 40 minutes. So I think we did a good job of that.
Well done. Enjoy it.
Yeah, thank you.
Matt Hurd, terrific to have such amazing access to him today as our Harvey Norman in the zone player. Let's hear a bit more from him.
Man, we can't get hit by a screen. That's crazy. Yeah, hey, don't ice that one. Force him left. Left! Keep him left!
Great access with Harvey Norman in the zone and Matt Hurd. Let's hear from Nathan Sobey with Steph.
Nathan, it was a phenomenal game to watch. How did it feel out there?
Yeah, I mean, it's just good to get back on the winners column. I thought on Friday night, we just a bit stiff in that last quarter. We let ourselves down, so it's good to come away with a win today and get back on that list.
So many players on the board today as well. How proud are you of the group? It was a true team effort.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we preach. We preach the depth of our team, and we continue to work. And it's great that the next person steps up every week for us, and we'll continue to do that as we're moving forward.
Thank you.
Cheers.
So 14 points, 9 assists for Nathan Sobey today.
And I put Nathan Sobey and Matt Hurd kind of in the same category. They didn't play great, Andrew, but they made enough plays, and Sobey was outstanding with his playmaking. And look, he's just got to continue to plug away until the jump shot comes back. He's struggling shooting the ball, but he's playing much better basketball, and the type of basketball that is helping his team win.
Yeah, and to me, it's still, and there's a good example of the extended pressure that we're talking about. To me, with him, he's still learning within the system about when he should go, when he shouldn't go, and some of the shot selection still a little all over the place. But you look at the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix next 5 games, and you know there's no such thing as an easy run. But you know the Cairns and Brisbane ones, they must win. And
pick your mind.
They've got to find a way to pick up at least 1, possibly 2 of the others. If they can go 4 out of next 5, then they're right back in the mix.
And they get to 500 for a throwdown in round 12 against Melbourne United. So who knows, that could be a very, very tasty clash indeed. They win big today, the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, 97-74 at John Cain Arena. We'll wrap it all up next.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.
So the South East Melbourne Phoenix come away with a sizable victory, 97-74. They get to 5-7 on the season. And they hand Cairns a 7th straight loss. Geordie Hunter pretty happy with his work. There's our full-time match stats. Derek Rucker, Andrew Gaze. What do we make of those numbers?
Well, I think that you can see the shooting percentages for the Cairns Taipans not where they need to be. Some outstanding shooting from the three-point line in particular from the Phoenix. And they're just outmatched. The bodies aren't there for Cairns right now. And as such, you know, they can hang around for bits and pieces, but when it cracks open, it's very hard for them to play catch-up, and that was clearly evident today. But they're going to get better. They'll get some people back. As I said during the call, you don't have your leading rebounder, and you don't have your leading scorer. You take those two elements out of any team in the competition, it's going to be some heavy lifting. It's going to be tough.
And plenty of players stepped up for South East Melbourne. Angus Glover, the most notable of them. So a career best, 22 points, a new career high for him, 9 from 14 from the field. And that expanded role, handling the ball a little bit more ruck, he looks really well suited to.
And he's so confident. He's coming out, getting the team off to good starts. And when he shoots the ball like this, Andrew, he's so tough because he does have a lot of other skills. He can get to the rack. He's got a floater game. He's athletic. He can go in there and dunk on you if need be. But right now, he's one of the formed two-way guys in the competition. It looks like he's finally got his feet under him after arriving from Sydney. And the Phoenix, as a group, look very strong as we look at his Blackmore shot chart.
Yeah, and I think the big key for him is just knowing the minutes he's going to get. Earlier on in the season, he was coming in and out of games. He'd miss a shot here or there, and you'd almost see the confidence in him being sapped. But when he's out there and he's starting and he hits his first couple of shots, he's a completely different player. And unlike some of these other guys, he's a big-time player in the NBL 1 level, so he knows what it's like to be a prominent guy out in the court and take big shots. And we've seen that here, and of course, we know what he did with the Sydney Kings a couple of seasons ago.
Championship winner with them, championship winner with the Eltham Wildcats, of course, in the NBL 1 as well. Taron Armstrong returned to things for Cairns today. Just looked a little bit rusty, a little bit off for him.
It's tough, especially when you come back as a point guard and you got to handle the ball a lot, and we're not sure what he was actually doing during his injury. It could have been a case where he wasn't able to get moving with the basketball in his hands, but he was rusty, there's no doubt about it. But it's not the worst thing for the Cairns Taipans. That's easily fixable. He's a highly talented player. Drew, he'll be much better, I promise you, next week.
Oh, for sure. And to get back into the action, get back into the physicality of the game, and you saw some of those turnovers. It was just that you can get away with things in practice that you can't during the season. But if you look at the ladder, the Cairns Taipans, well, they need their guys back real quick smart, and Phoenix hanging around.
And
hanging around.
Shows you the importance of that game next weekend. Perth, Southeast Melbourne. That will be for that play-in spot.
And let's see if that Phoenix improved defense actually travels. Can they take it to Perth, shut down that Wildcats offense, and come away with a victory?
So first game of our doubleheader here in the books at John Cain Arena. 97-74, the Southeast Melbourne get it done. Coming up next, a marquee matchup between the Adelaide 36ers and the Illawarra Hawks. Who wins it, Drewy?
To me, it's the Sixers.
I'm going with Illawarra.
They haven't lost at home this calendar year, Adelaide. That is coming up next. Don't go anywhere. Adelaide and Illawarra from the City of Churches.